Hi everyone, I'm Raquel. Welcome to your practice. Today we're going to focus on how to twist. In yoga, there's many ways that you can do any pose, and especially when it comes to twisting. Some people say we're supposed to keep the pelvis stable and then revolve around the ribs, and some people are going to say, well, let the pelvis move a little bit in the direction of the twist. So the more I practice, the more I see my students and then how this works differently in different people. Today I'll give you the opportunity and the choice to kind of figure it out. What is it that works best for you? It might be that just keeping the pelvis stable and revolving around the ribs feels more yummy, or maybe for you, especially if you're on the loosey-goosey side, you will need to move the pelvis a little bit into the direction of the twist so you don't pull on sacroiliac joints and mess up with your lower back. So today's up to you to figure it out which of the twists works best for you. Okay, so we're going to need 2 blocks. So let's start seated. Before we do all of our twisting, let's open up the side body. You can cross the legs any way you like. And then go ahead and bring your right hand to the right side. So it's a giant step to the right. Left arm goes up towards the ceiling. And then you start with a mini side bend. Keep lengthening and reaching up through the fingers and see if you can reach to the ring finger. Take a breath here on the left side of the ribs. And as you exhale, you can bend the right elbow down towards the floor. You may or may not touch the floor. And as you inhale, come all the way up. And then same thing, other side. Now the left hand, giant step out to the side, align with your hip. The right arm goes up. Flip the palm so it faces the direction of the side bend, and you bend the left elbow as much as it feels comfy for you. You might be feeling the upper part of the ribs or maybe more lower back. It's all fair game. Good, and then one more time all the way up. That side bend, and now if it is available to you, bring the forearm all the way down. It's actually okay if your hips, meaning your left hip, comes off the floor a little bit. If that is the case, reach the arm up towards the ceiling, flip the palm, and start your side bend with the upper body. Now bring awareness to the hip that is in the air, which is the left hip. Take a breath here. And then as you exhale, allow the left hip to move down towards the floor. Again, it may or may not move. So this definitely gets into that QL, the lower back muscles. And then bend the elbow, cup the base of the skull. Press the back of the head against your hand. Extra breath here into the left ribs. And then as you exhale, press the forearm down, bring yourself all the way up. Same thing, other side. Now the left hand down, go ahead and bend that elbow. Now your right sitting bone might come off the floor. Your right arm goes up, flip the palm, and then do your side bend. Breathe into the top hip, which is your right hip right now. And then as you exhale, allow that hip to move down towards the floor. So not forcing the right hip down, just allowing it to release a little bit towards the earth. Bend the elbow, cup the base of the skull, and then press the back of your skull back. Another breath here. And then as you exhale, press the hand down and bring yourself all the way up. We're going to do seated cat-cow. Interlace the fingers in front of you, bring the arms forward and all the way up. So this is the first starting position. And right off the bat, notice that when the arms go overhead, the front of the ribs want to poke forward into your yoga top. So can you hug the front of the ribs in? And it's okay if you need to bring the arms a little bit more forward. So the front of the ribs, navel, hug in. And then you keep all that contained as you bring the arms overhead up towards the ceiling. Today we're trying to target, so we open the very middle of our spine, or our thoracic spine. More specifically, the space right in between the shoulder blades. Good. And then from here, release the hands back down. Interlace the fingers behind you. Shoot the knuckles down towards the floor and then up towards the ceiling. And then they may not even come off the floor. And now we're going to do the exact opposite of what we just did. So allow the front ribs to jut forward. And then see if you can have a sense that the shoulder blades are squeezing the back of the heart as you reach the backs of the arms up towards the ceiling. So we're focusing on opening, that's why we're doing this. Good. So now another variation, interlace the fingers in front of you. See if you can do the funny clasp. Inhale the hands all the way up. Do a mini back bend here. And look up where the wall meets the ceiling. So your back of the neck is nice and long. And then go ahead, heels of the hands together, hands forward, bring your chin to your chest and curl your upper back. 2 more times like this. Hands forward and all the way up towards the ceiling. This is your cow pose. Look up. This is a back bend. And then as you exhale, curl it in. Shoot the knuckles forward. Let the arms be parallel with the floor as the back of the heart moves back. And then one more time. Hands forward and all the way up. Lift. Find that back bend right in the middle of your thoracic spine. And then as you exhale, hands down, curl it in. Good. And then from here, arms all the way up. And you release the arms back down. We're going to do cat-cow on our hands and knees, but with a different arm position. So coming to hands and knees. And again, because we're focusing on the very middle of our spines, that space right between the blades, you're going to go ahead and bend the elbows out about 45-degree angle. The elbows are not going to move. The elbows are not going to move. You keep them nice and bent. Your thumbs, your middle fingers are facing each other. And you're going to do cat-cow again, only with your thoracic spine. So here, guys, with the elbows bent 45 degrees, allow the heart to move straight down towards the fingers. And then see if you can pinch the spine with the shoulder blades. That usually helps us to get into a different part, a little bit deeper into that upper back. And keeping the position of the arms, elbows out to the sides, back of the heart domes up towards the ceiling. So you're broadening the shoulder blades away from each other. So when the heart goes down, notice how this is the same thing as cow pose. You're squeezing the spine with the shoulder blades. And then when you bring the shoulder blades away from each other, you open the back of the heart, and this mimics cat pose. And do one more time, trying to find those muscles that live right underneath the shoulder blades, squeezing in. And then shoulder blades out, back of the heart, domes a little bit up towards the ceiling. And then you release. Back into hands and knees. Go ahead and grab one of your blocks and place it in between your ankles the long way, not the narrow way. Okay, we're going to play with this. The ankles are just gently holding the block. The hands are just under the shoulders. Lengthen the spine forward. The block is there, so your hips are not going to move. So the first twist we're going to do is without moving the hips, okay? So look down, look forward. Don't move the hips at all. And reach the right arm out to the side in a T, okay? So stay in this position. The hand that is on the floor presses down. And see if you can revolve only from your ribs to the right. And I know this looks like a very simple shape, but it's not easy. So keep the hips where they are and then try to revolve. And with the back of the right arm, try to reach up towards the ceiling. Another breath here. And then from here, release back down. Same thing, other side. Now maybe try with now bringing the right hand a little bit under your face. And then left arm out to the side. Press the hand, lengthen the spine. And then don't move the hips at all as you revolve to the left, and then up as you look up towards that hand. Keep lengthening. The crown of your head is reaching forward, the sitting bones are back. And then from here, you release that hand back down. Okay. Same thing, but now without the block. Hands and knees again. Lengthen the spine forward. Bring the left hand a little bit under the face and your right hand to your sacrum. Your sacrum is that big bone just above where the glutes divide. So the whole of your palm is flat and your fingers are facing your toes. Lengthen the spine forward. Take a breath. And then as you exhale, revolve your chest to the right, and you are going to feel that the pelvis moves a little bit. So just feel that. This is a pretty safe pose for everyone, and it might be that you like both of the twists. Good. And then you bring that arm up towards the ceiling, lengthening through the spine, spread through the fingers, and then from here you release back down. Okay, now right hand under the face, left hand to the sacrum, same thing, lengthen the spine. And now as you start to revolve your ribs, notice how the hips shift a little bit. So let them shift, see how that feels in your body. And then the left arm goes up towards the ceiling. Last inhale. And then as you exhale, the hand down. Okay, same start. Left hand under the face, right hand to the sacrum. Lengthen the spine forward. Revolve yourself to the right. Find all the rotation that you can. Right arm goes up. And then as you exhale, go ahead and thread the needle. So now as you thread the needle, your head is on the floor. Your left hand is going to land right in front of your face. And then go ahead and press that hand down and revolve yourself a little bit. And notice how your right foot is going to move a little bit towards the left. I'm actually okay with that. When that happens, it means that your pelvis has accommodated the twist as you're twisting to the left. Just one more breath here. And then you release, press the left hand down. Bring yourself to hands and knees. One normal cat-cow. Inhale, look up, sitting bones up and apart. And then as you exhale, curl down into your cat. And then back to center. Let's do the other side. Now the right hand is right under the face. Left hand to the sacrum, lengthen the spine. And then try to find that revolving motion from your ribs more than your hips. And left arm goes up, reach through the hand. And then you thread the needle. Allowing the right hand to stay like right in front of your face on your mat. And then again, now I'm feeling my left foot moving a little bit to the right. Because again, the pelvis is the pod from which the spine grows. So it has to accommodate a little bit of the twist. The hand that is right in front of your face, press that hand down. And then maybe you can revolve towards the ceiling. Again, targeting the mid-back. We want no pinching, no stabbing feeling on the lower back at all. Last inhale. And then you press the right hand down. Bring yourself to hands and knees. Inhale up into a normal cow. And then exhale down into cat pose. Good. And then from here, walk the feet forward to the front of your mat. And then have your blocks ready. Yes. Press the hands down on the blocks and do an Uttanasana, forward fold like this. I'm going to play with the same thing. So just look to your right toes right now. Lift and spread the toes. Dig that heel down into the earth. And then bring it down. Do the same thing with the other one. Lift and spread the toes. And then bring it down. Okay. Place one of the blocks on the lowest setting on the floor. And then the other block on the third setting on top of it. And now have your left hand on the block. And bring your right hand to your sacrum. Lengthen the spine forward. Same thing we did on the floor. Do not move your pelvis as you try to revolve yourself to the right, and you're going to see it's not as easy. Okay? You're not going to go too far, but you might be able to get a little bit deeper into that upper spine. So notice how this twist feels on this side. And then maybe you try to bring the arm up towards the ceiling, which for most of us is going to be more on a diagonal. If you try to bring this arm up, so it's going to shove up into your face. That's not what we want. So maybe you want to bring that arm a little bit lower so you can keep the right shoulder blade down the back. And then you release back down. Now your right hand is on the block, left hand on the sacrum. Do not move the pelvis, lengthen the spine forward. And then you revolve your chest to the left as much as it's available to you. And then open up that arm. It might not be going up towards the ceiling. It's probably going to be on a diagonal. You're pressing the heels down and lengthening the spine forward. And then from here, you release. Okay. Left hand on the block, right hand to the sacrum. And now we're going to move the pelvis. Let's see how this feels. Lengthen the spine forward and go ahead and bend only your left knee. So only the left knee bends. You lengthen the spine. You revolve your chest to the right, and then you're gonna feel like, whoa, there's more movement here. because we're allowing the pelvis to help us. The more you bend the left knee, the more you revolve. It's going to be less deep, but it's a more thorough twist. The bottom shoulder goes away from the ear. Dig the right heel into the earth. Keep the right thigh nice and engaged. And keep reaching the right sitting bone back towards the wall behind you. And then reach the right arm up towards the ceiling. The hand that is down is pressing down. The straight leg is straight. Even though your inner thighs are apart, squeeze them together. Last big breath. And then you release the hand back down. Same thing other side. Now the right hand is on the blocks, left hand to the sacrum. You're going to bend only your right knee. So now that the right knee bends, you can see that the right side of your pelvis is lower than the right. Lengthen the spine. The pelvis has already initiated a twist. And now thoracic spine is going to jump into the party, the revolving party, and finish off the twist. And then the left arm goes up towards the ceiling. Feel free to bend the right knee, dig the left heel into the earth, and then look up. Stay in the twist. Both of your legs are engaged. You have one more breath. And then as you exhale, bring your hands back down. Good. Now both of the hands to the blocks, lengthen your spine. And make a mental note if you enjoyed one twist more than the other. And then from here, bend the knees and sit down. Cross the legs again, any way you want. And then cross the shins. We're going to do what is called a segmented twist. It's going to be our last twist. It's one of my favorite actually, because the pelvis is on the floor. We've already warmed up. And now you're really going to feel the thoracic having all its glory, being able to twist. So do spider fingers with your hands like this on the left hand. So we're all doing the same side. I'm not mirroring you. And then place the fingertips like right in between this hole that you have between your legs and your pelvis. And do the same thing with your right fingertips, spider fingers behind you. And then press them down and lengthen up to the spine. If you're in this position and your knees are way up, please sit on a block or a blanket. So you're going to face towards the screen the whole time. Take a breath. As you exhale, press the fingertips down. Keep staring at the screen as you revolve your chest to the right. So the very center of your chest, thoracic spine revolves to the right. Another breath, sinking the fingers into the floor. You're lengthening the spine. You're still staring at the screen. Don't look to the side as you revolve the spine to the right. So hopefully you're right in that juicy spot where you are able to access parts of your thoracic spine, the mid-upper spine, that we usually don't. Now the hand that is in front is your left hand. Place your left hand on your right knee. The fingertips that are behind you, continue to press them down, lengthen the spine. And now the cervical spine, your neck, is going to join the party as you turn your head all the way to the right and then to the back of the room. Now that you're here, the hand that is on the knee, try to pull that knee up, but with the knee you press it down. And go ahead and close your eyes for a moment. And then check in if you're over-efforting with both of your hands. Maybe you can soften about 20%. And notice which lung feels like it has more space. And send 2, maybe 3 deeper breaths into that lung. This is the best thing we can do for the health of our spines. Moving, side bending, forward folding, twisting. It's always nice to hold, sustain a twist. And now keeping the eyes closed as you inhale, come back to center. Each hand to each knee. Maybe your body's still feeling the twist. Good. And same thing other side. Bring your other shin in front. Now your right fingertips are in between this hole in your legs, left fingertips behind you. Press it down, lengthen the spine. You're staring at the screen as you revolve your chest to the left. So the first revolving is always more dramatic, right? It's the second one. How can we give it more juice? Inhale. And then as you exhale, can you twist your chest, your shoulders to the left? So your back shoulder, which is your left shoulder, is moving back, and then your front shoulder is moving to the left. I hope that was not too confusing. And now you turn your head to finish your twist, looking over the left shoulder and then back towards the back of the room. The front hand is now going to slide towards the opposite knee, which is your left knee. And then right where you notice you're over-efforting, maybe back off and close the eyes. 3 breaths in this shape. Noticing where you can, with the breath, bring more space. Noticing that opposite lung, for most of us, is going to be the right lung that feels more spacious. And then keeping the eyes closed, inhale, come back to center, hands to knees, pause, feel that twist. Open the eyes, interlace the fingers. Let's finish this off. Inhale all the way up into cow pose. And then as you exhale, curling down into cat. Inhale all the way up into cow. And then down into cat. Inhale, arms up. Hands to your sides. One more time, easy side bend to the right, giant step to the right. Side bend, you can bend the elbow or not. Maybe you feel like, oh, all of that after all that twisting. And then up, and then other side. Good, all the way up. Fingertips down on the floor, tripod arms, close the eyes. Feel the whole of your spine from the pelvis, lower back, mid back, upper back. And keeping the sense of a nice long spine before the palms in front of the heart. Thank you for practicing. Namaste.